I just want to say I'm really excited to be here today and have the opportunity to speak to you a little bit about UCA and the Sugar Bear program. It really means a lot to me to be at UCA and be the head coach. They told me that I had 30 minutes to speak, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I have 30 minutes worth to say, okay? But I'm going to do my best. But my players may disagree with me because last Wednesday, we stunk it up on the road. We got beat by SFA, and believe me, I talked longer than 30 minutes, so they may disagree with me. But UCA is a great place. I'm going on my 6th season, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've enjoyed it because of the people in Conway, the community. My boss, Dr. Brad Teague, is an amazing athletic director. He's able to provide stuff for the coaches to help us be successful. And, I get up every day and I get the opportunity to go in and work around great coaches and great people. And I appreciate the people from UCA being here. I really do. That's what we do. It's a family atmosphere. And our players see that. And you win with players. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Players make you look like a great coach. And you have to have a great supporting cast, too. And, my assistant coaches do a tremendous job. And we talk about all the time that you win with people, and they have to have the same vision that you have as a head coach. And, we have people behind the scenes, such as Josh Goff, our sports information. We've got our athletic trainers, all these people, Steve-O, the voice of the Sugar Bears, Natalie, our senior women's administrator. Those people make it fun for us coaches. But I want to tell you a little bit about my background, okay? And I have been coaching 29 years. And I did start when I was 10, so that makes me about 40, okay? I just want y'all to know. Okay? So add that up. But things happened really quick for me as a head coach. My parents always told me I was hard-headed, and I really wanted to be a head coach at an early age. And they always said, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Well, I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi. It's a small town. It's really Woolmarket, Mississippi. Has anybody ever heard that? Woolmarket. Okay, that's why I say Biloxi. And I grew up on a Christmas tree farm. And my dad told me that he had to start the Christmas tree farm because girls are so expensive. And so that's where I learned my work ethic. And it was a family. We were united. We'd get up every morning. We'd go and work in the Christmas tree farm. And, it was hard work. But it taught me a lot at a very, very young age. Now, I don't want anybody to boo me when I say this, okay, or hold it against me, but I played at the University of Alabama. So Hall fans, do not boo me, please, okay? I see Arkansas shirt and everything, but that was a great experience for me. Learned a lot, but I left there, and as they said, I went to Delta State under Coach Lloyd Clark, who won 3 national championships. I learned a lot of basketball. From there, I went to West Georgia College as an assistant. From there to Millsaps College as a head coach at the D3 level. At the age of 25, this is what I'm saying, it happened so fast for me. At the age of 25, I went to University of Texas at El Paso, better known as UTEP. Now, I've got to go on record. If that program was any good at that time, they wouldn't have hired a 25-year-old, okay? But it's a great program now. But when the door opens, you've got to jump. Whether you're ready or not, you've got to go. But it was a great experience for me. But you take a Southern girl all the way out to El Paso, that was tough. That was really tough. But I knew I wanted to be a head coach. Well, I had the opportunity to learn a lot of basketball from Don Haskins. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Don Haskins. I see some nods. Okay. Well, Glory Road was the movie they made of him, and back then it was Texas Western. So he was kind of my mentor. He took me under his wing and helped me with defense philosophy, breaking down films, and just guiding a 25, 26-year-old kid that didn't have a clue of what was going on. But there's one thing that he did tell me, and I learned. He asked me, he said, "What's your philosophy?" And I said, "Coach, I don't know. 25, 26, most people don't know your philosophy at 25 or 26. They're just floating." And he said, "Be who you are and do what works for you." And that's advice that I've really tried to live by. You can't be like anybody else, whether people agree or disagree. You have to be yourself and work what works for you. I left UTEP and I went to Henderson State for 1 year in Arkadelphia. Really enjoyed that. From there to Delta, so it was full circle. We had some success at Delta. Again, it goes back to I've had the opportunity to coach great players, and then here. And purple happens to be my favorite color. I just want you to know it really does. But I am involved in these young ladies' lives every day. Every day. And can you imagine, just think about this. I'm dealing with 17 to 22-year-old young women every day. Every day. Now, it is challenging and it's fun at the same time. But I'm going to tell you something. It's how they feel at that, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but I can say this because I'm a female. Okay? It's how they feel at that particular time and that particular moment. And I want to tell you a true story that happened to me when I was at Delta. We were getting ready to play for a championship. Okay, and it was about 5 minutes before the game. And I go out and I sit down and watch them warm up. And I noticed something's wrong with my best player. And let me get you this picture of her. She's 10% body fat, fit, solid, and just a beast. And I'm really big on body language. And I'm big on people looking you in the eye. And we teach our players that. Because these are life lessons that they have to learn, so when they leave our program, they're prepared. Well, I'm watching. I knew something was wrong, so I call my manager over there, and I nickname everybody, okay? Her name was Z. I said, is something wrong with Z? No, coach, and I should have known better than ask her, because they don't pay attention anyway, young kids to each other. They don't. Okay. Well, I knew something was wrong, because I'd been with her every day. And I said, well, Sandra, do you call her over here and afraid you're going to, hurt her feelings and she's not going to go perform, or you're going to take a chance and lose a ball game and me not feel good about it? Well, anybody that knows me, I want to hit it head on. I want to hit it head on, get it over with. So I call her over and I said, Z, you okay? She kind of looked at me, and I knew then. And I said, what's wrong? She said, Coach, my legs are rubbing together and I feel fat. 5 minutes before tip-off, trying to win a championship, and my best player's having a fat day. And I'm sitting here thinking, come on, you got to say the right thing, because we're getting ready to play for a championship. I said, well, Z, my legs are rubbing together, and I feel fat today. And she looked at me like, I said, oh no, do you think I'm making fun of her? And I said, no. I said, Z, let me tell you what's happened. There's too much salt that was put on that grilled chicken for pregame, and that's why. And I said, when you get out there and you start running up and down the floor, all that salt's going to come out, and you're going to feel so much better. And I said, since your legs are rubbing together, though, we're going to put you in a pair of smaller tights. So I said, go into the locker room. So she went to the locker room, and I called my manager over there, and I said, we need to go in there and get Z a smaller pair of tights. And get her extra small is what I said. My manager sat there and looked at me for a minute. And I said, what's wrong? She said, Coach, she wears a large. And I'm like, I know she wears a large. Get her and squeeze her in that extra small. That had to be a sight, but I wasn't in that. I was not in there. But she came out and tapped me on the shoulder and gave me that thumbs up. We go on and we win the championship. Everybody's happy, jumping up and down. She comes over. And she says, puts her arm around me and says, Coach, she said, I think you were right. It was that salt and that chicken. You might need to think about changing pregame meal. And I said, all right, that's what we'll do. So again, dealing with young women. Okay, I bet you Russ never has a fat day with his men. Do you think so? Okay, ever. But dealing with young women, it's about their moods. And please, I'm not trying to offend anybody, and emotions. And trying to get, 15 young women to focus on the same thing at that particular time. And that, like I said, that can be challenging. But it is fun, because I get an opportunity to watch these young women grow every day and be a part of their life. In fact, for 4 years, I probably see them more than their parents actually see them. And like, part of my job is to make sure they have every opportunity to succeed. On the court, in the classroom, in life. I mean, we were on the road this past weekend, and one of my players, did y'all hear about the shooting that was in Kentucky or not. I don't know. Well, that was her high school. And then her dad was there and witnessed it. And that was something that, and you know, me as a head coach, like I said, you play so many different roles. You're the mom, the big sister, the friend, the disciplinarian that everybody gets mad at. But we took time there, and I went to her before practice and sat down, and she's crying because her dad actually witnessed, like I said, he was there in the shooting, took a student to the hospital, holding, you know, I guess it was his stomach. But those are the things that these players deal with. And I don't mean to tell her business, but I'm over here with her before practice, and practice is going on. Now, I'm so competitive, and I love what I'm doing, and I love winning more than anything. But I also know that when these young ladies need us and they're going through something, they need to know that we care about them as people. And we do. We care about them as people first, and then basketball players second. And I don't want anybody to take that wrong. Of course, we want to win because I'm judged by my win-loss record. Okay, but, those are the issues that sometimes, like I said, we have. I want to tell you another story, okay? I love to tell stories, and my team just starts rolling their eyes because I tell stories all the time. To get somebody to focus, okay, we're in practice, and I had a player that would look up and start looking at the lights and counting the lights, or looking at the floor, couldn't get a play. She couldn't get a play, and this was, like I said, 2 years ago. So my job is hard when a player can't get a play, and there's only one play she can learn, and that's the play you got to call when she's in there. And I told her if I ever called something and she wasn't in there, just run around in circles and act like you know what you're doing. And she did several times. So we're in there going over some plays, trying to get, and I noticed she's kind of clocked out. That's what we say, you got to stay in tune, but she clocked out. Had her come stand beside me. And I said, you getting this? And she said, yeah, coach, knowing she didn't have a clue. Okay, but don't you know, when you ask a player something, you got it? Got you, coach, got you, coach. I told him I'm going to get a shirt that says got you, coach, because that's the answer I get all the time. But 10 minutes went by, and I'm saying, you see that? Oh, yeah, coach. And she looks at me. She says, coach, did you know you have two different pair of earrings on? And I didn't know what to say. And I'm like, okay, here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity for me. I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a clue. I must have been in a hurry that day, okay? But I checked them this morning. I want y'all to know. But she can focus in on what's wrong with me and my earrings not matching, but she couldn't. And she's a great kid. I'm just telling you the struggles and the fun and the challenges that I have coaching girls, women. But I told her, I said, good job. You're the only one that noticed. You are really focused on something. Of course, she, put it back, her chest back like that. And guess what she did every day, the rest of the year? Came and checked to make sure my earrings matched. And they were small diamond little, studs. How could she notice that? But it's enjoyable for me. It really is. And I want to tell you something else. My players, have increased my vocabulary, not improved. Okay. They've increased my vocabulary, and I'm going to help some of y'all. Some of y'all look 40 like me. Okay, so I'm going to help y'all with this. 2 years ago, I came into practice. Okay, and we just gotten our Adidas sweats, and I go through until I'm sitting down. I'm walking, feeling pretty good, and they said, "Coach," I said, "Yeah, that's tight." I said, "No, it's not. It fits." Tight means good. Okay, so that means they approve. Okay, got another one. I'm telling you, have Adidas shoes on this year. Walking in, they said, "Coach, that's fresh." I just said, "What's fresh?" And it's okay, so I'm approved again. So tight and fresh meant different things when I was coming up. Okay. And this one's gonna blow your mind, because this is, y'all young people, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all absolutely know what I'm talking about. Okay. Bet. Bet means okay. So I'm in practice one day, and I'm trying to show the players that, you can teach old sugar bear new tricks, and all this kind of stuff. So I keep hearing them say bet. Well, there was a turnover, and I pointed at him, and I said, that's not bet. Like, that's not okay. But that's not the way you use it. That's not the way, and believe me, they let me know that. Absolutely. And we have a recruit on campus right now, and I go meet her at the hotel, and our players over there, and they met us last night. I'll walk in, and I didn't have something zipped up on the bottom of my sweats, and they let me know. See, they focus in on the things that is important to them. And if we could ever get everybody on the same page, and don't get me wrong, I've got a great group. Absolutely love this team. Now, they give me a headache, and I'm not even going, because we could really, really do something special this year. But they really don't play hard enough for me. But, you know, everybody says, oh, Coach, nobody ever plays hard enough for you. But this team, their personalities are so different. Okay, they're too nice. Okay, they're too nice. I want them to be beasts on the floor. And when I say too nice, all right, do you ever notice that sometimes that maybe your best player or the one that is shooting 10% from the three-pointer gets the last shot when the shot clock's running down? I mean, y'all ever notice that? Okay. Well, when I played, I wouldn't pass it to somebody that was shooting 10%. And this is the thing that I've learned. And like I said, I've never coached men, but I like to talk to a lot of different coaches to see their philosophies and stuff. But men, if you're in a pickup game, from what I was told, they're not going to throw it to somebody that can't play. Girls are going to pass it to you because they don't want somebody to get mad at them. They don't want to get their feelings to get hurt. And see, I'm not about feelings. I'm worried about winning. You know, if you're not good at the three-pointer, be good at something else. And that's what we talk about. We talk about all the time. All right, measure self with self. Measure self with self. Because I don't want my freshmen coming in comparing themselves to, like, I have a KJ, and strong, solid. I don't want them comparing themselves to her in the weight room. You measure self with self on everything you do, even in life, and that's what we're telling. That you're trying to impress yourself and improve yourself as an individual, not somebody else. But, you know, like I said, I'm very happy to be the head coach at UCA, and I told you I didn't have a whole lot to say. Okay, I'm not long-winded.